it's Linda's Life Lessons today, and I bring you these messages on Saturday mornings or whenever you are watching this because I want to share with you what my experience, strength, and hope is to live life. I have been a Christian for 48 years now, and in life there are challenges without a doubt. And after all these years, some people think, oh, you're so strong, you just yeah, not some days. I just don't feel as strong. So today I woke up and I'm like, I don't want to do this today. I'm too tired. I've been in pain all week. I am not sleeping more than 3 or 4 hours and I don't want to do this. So I decided, Lord, what do you want me to preach on today? Today it is going to be on giving up and why we shouldn't give up and what I plan to do within the next 15 to 20 minutes here that I'll be talking. And you'll notice I'm trying to cut my messages shorter so people are more engaging. But I want to share with you what I'm going to do today. And I hope you'll join me either now or in the future if you ever feel like giving up. Or if you've got some suggestions, please put them in the comments. Father, I thank you that you give us a reason not to give up, and you give us the power and the strength and the hope to continue going on. So speak this morning, Lord, for your glory, that others might not give up, but would press on. In your name, amen. It is exhausting at times to live life, and we all go through things. I know you're going through things. I know you've been through things, whether it's kids, job, family, relationships, pain, illness, we all go through this stuff. And times we just want to quit. If you've ever tried to run a business, start a business, trust me, you may feel like giving up. And I've got two things going on right now. One is I started my online coaching 10 years ago, expecting to just be sailing and easy and not having to think much and really being retired. And I'm finding it's harder and harder and harder to compete with the rest of the world in doing things like helping people because there's so much. Everybody wants a quick fix. Everybody wants to be entertained. They don't want to listen. I used to preach on this channel for an hour, and my friends from India were with me. People from America, not so much. And people are saying, oh man, you're talking for a half an hour. That's a long time. Maybe if you shorten it up a little bit. And studies show that Americans, at least, or by and large people, if they're going to watch a video, 7 or 8 minutes. I'm not getting these down to 7 or 8 minutes, so don't plan on it because I think God's got more to say. I'm going to go until I feel that the Lord has said what he wanted me to say today through me. But we all want to give up at some point and just say, screw it, I'm done. I don't want to do this. I got up this morning because I couldn't sleep anymore. I had slept a whole 4 hours and just too much pain to sleep. I don't know what's going on with my body, my shoulders, but I just am in so much pain and laying it just kills me. So yeah, I'm not sleeping well. So when you don't sleep well, your brain doesn't get the nutrients, literally, because when we sleep, our body reboots with the great chemicals that God has created our body to produce that help us to think straight and feel good and be happy. All those positive chemicals that we get when we're sleeping. But when you don't sleep well and when you're in pain, it causes stress. And those are negative chemicals, and there's names for all this. But those negative chemicals have kind of infiltrated my body in this last week, not sleeping more than 3 to 4 hours. And I just want to say, screw it. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to work. I don't want to talk to clients. I don't want to post videos. I don't want to be an inspiration. I just want to sit like a lot of people do and just not have to worry about anything or anybody. But I have this conviction. And if you have been born into this world and spiritually into the family of God for a purpose, which I believe we all are, we are created for a purpose. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I have formed you and fashioned and made all of your inward parts, and that our lives are made for a purpose and for a hope, and not for calamity, not for all this chaos. We don't need to live in chaos and anxiety and stress and fear. We can live in peace and serenity if we trust God. Much of the pressure that we put on ourselves, we put on ourselves. It's not God pressuring us. It is us constantly trying to please others. If we are seeking to please Him, trust me, it would not be so stressful, because we'd be relying on His hope, His Spirit to manage it. So there's lots and lots of wonderful verses in the Bible. I don't know how I got to this church page, but lots of verses that talk about giving us hope and encouragement in times of trial and tribulation. And for me, that's where I go. I got to find this up. Giving up Bible verses. This is what I do, and I really love how this works when you type in giving up Bible verses. I love Bible study tools because they do a really nice job of listing them all, putting them in a nice orderly fashion here. The first one that pops up is 1 Corinthians 9:24. Don't you know that we're all in a race and all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way to get the prize. So as I'm talking about business, and I have a business coach, and I get frustrated because he's got different viewpoints, and I'm like, I thought I was done with this. I thought I had this all figured out. I thought this was good enough, and now you're saying it's not good enough. It's not that it's not good enough. He wants it to be the best. He wants me to run to win the prize. He wants me to be the best person out there, the best course program that people can take, women can take, who are faith-based women, who are professionals, who are going, gosh, am I drinking too much? Maybe I am drinking too much, or I definitely know I'm drinking too much. He wants me to be able to find those women and help them. But there's a way, a special way, to be able to reach that type of individual who is going to come out of their shell, come out from behind the worship team at their church, or behind the president's desk at their business and say, I got a drinking problem. They're not going to come to just any old person or anybody that says, hey, I got a program out there. I have to do things differently. I have to run the race to get the prize. 2 Chronicles 15:7. But as for you, be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded. Be strong and courageous. Your work will be rewarded. Really, Lord? That's so awesome. I do these things every Saturday morning. I have for 3 years. It'll be 3 years in October. And hardly anybody ever looks at them. Hardly anybody ever comes and comments. But I do hear, oh, your message Saturday was so good. I'm like, I didn't know you watched it. Why didn't you say something? Give me a like. Give me a thumbs up. Say something. But even that, some people don't want other people to know they're watching videos like this, or they're watching videos on recovery. I mean, really, some people have so much fear. They don't want to be other people to know I've got some friends, they don't want people to know they are even on Facebook, so they never comment. They don't like hardly ever, just because they don't want people bugging them. So there's reasons for us all to do things and to not give up. Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Oh, that chokes me up. You intended, see, this isn't specifically talking to me. He was talking to other people back in Genesis, but I put this toward you, Satan, the devil, other people intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. I came to do what I'm doing because of COVID. If it wouldn't have been for COVID and churches shutting down, don't believe I would have gotten the invitation by Brother Sam Daniel to come on here and do what I'm doing, because he was trying to reach the world in a way that he couldn't have done in his church in India. So he invited me to do this, and here I am now doing this for 3 years so that others might be saved. And it's not just because I'm on his channel, I'm on several other channels. I upload it to YouTube, and people will see this forever. Satan came with that horrible disease, COVID-19, to kill, steal, and destroy. And many people did die as a result, but many people are going to be saved for all eternity because of it. Because I'm doing this now, and I wouldn't have been doing this had I not had that opportunity. God is great. He is definitely a great and mighty God, and I am so grateful. Every week I open this book this is my book that I wrote. I'm so tired. I mean, forgive me for being spacey today. Speak to me, God, I'm listening. 365 daily meditations for those who want to answer life's toughest questions. And my question is, God, why am I in so much pain? Why do I am beginning to hate to go to bed, because I am in so much pain at night. But I can't sleep sitting up. So what do? You just try. And go to the doctor, and I'm waiting for things, medication's not helping, and whatever. God has a plan, he's got a purpose, empathy. I am empathizing now with my friends who are in pain and struggling day in and day out because of their pain. I now know what they're going through to some degree. And I thank God that I don't have to go through this. I haven't gone through this my whole life. And I trust I'm not going to be in this much pain forever. There's a purpose for it, and maybe for me to slow down. So anyway, this book was my meditations when I asked God why. Then I would write down the answers. I'd write down my question. God, why is this happening? Why am I not sleeping? Why this? Why that? And I would write it down, and then I would either do like I'm doing, open the Bible, Google online, whatever the topic is, I'd find a scripture verse. Being a recovering alcoholic and drug addict, I am familiar with the 12-step program, and I use that to help people because it's a great structure for Christians or anyone to actually work through our character, work through why we do what we do, and to figure that out. It's all a great program. So then I pray and say, God, speak to me. And then I listen to what God has to say. And then I just write it down. and then I respond. So what I do every day, I don't go and look in this and figure out what I'm going to speak on. I don't pick out a verse, a reading before. I just do this. I get up in the morning, oftentimes. Sometimes I know what I'm going to talk about at night, but usually I don't know what I'm going to talk about until I wake up in the morning. And here we are. So this is what I do. I flip through it like this, and I just say, show me what you want me to read, and then I stop, and then I read, and you tell me if what I'm going to read has anything whatsoever to do with what I just talked about. Confusion Solution is the name of this. From May 11th is where it stopped. Step 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God, as we understood him praying only for what? The knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry that out. That's a whole nother message on only God's will, not what I want. The challenge, everyone gets confused sometimes. Whether it is dealing with your children, gosh, didn't I almost start this whole thing with this? Whether it is dealing with your children and how to parent them, what job to take, or who we want to spend our lives with, we all get confused. For those of us in recovery, it is about whether we go to a party where there's drinking and food that we know we'll have difficulty turning away from, or other challenges that make the right decision difficult. The only answer is turning to God for direction. Maintaining a conscious contact with God is the key to overcoming confusion, but we must listen to his directions, or we will never get a clear answer about which way to go, and his way is always consistent with the word he's already spoken. Are we willing to listen and experience peace? The hope was Psalm 14:2. The Lord looks down from heaven on the entire human race. He looks to see if anyone is truly wise, if anyone is seeking God. You want wisdom about what to do and why I'm in pain and all these things? The wisdom comes from God. Okay, so then I prayed, God, help me to hear your word and help me to listen to your voice, that I might do what it says and have freedom in my life from the confusion and failure that I so often feel from making the wrong choices. And I prayed, speak to me, God, and he said, my child, holster your pride. Do not think that you are able to withstand the temptations and the wiles of the devil. You need my directions and my presence, so always remember to take me with you wherever you go. I will stand against all those temptations between you and those things that would drag you into the pits of hell. I will show you which way to go if you would only trust me and maintain my presence with you day and night. Wow. My response was, God, today I will take you with me and all my decisions and all my challenges to make good decisions. Oh, how about you today? Where are you at with turning it over, with trusting God, with laying it at his feet, with giving up control over your pride? When my business coach said, oh, Linda, I wouldn't do it that way. You know, if you did this and this, and it's like, this is changing everything I just spent hours and hours and weeks and days and months and years doing, and now you're telling me to change it. What was the first thing he said? Holster your pride. My good friend messaged me yesterday with something too, and that was pretty much what I said. Holster your pride. I'll tell you, when we are living life and we're working with other people and we're trying to be leaders and collaborative, we can't be prideful. So I need to hear sometimes, holster your pride. Quit worrying so much about what other people are thinking, which is another stumbling block in my business. Quit worrying about what other people are thinking and do what you feel led to do. Whether it's cutting this to 15, 20 minutes, or whether it is preaching for an hour, or whether it's not doing it at all. Quit worrying about what other people think and do what God says. Listen to that still small voice. And the more you listen, the bigger the still small voice gets, and the louder his voice becomes as we seek to serve him. My prayers are with you today. Let's pray. Father, thank you for those that are watching and listening and passing this on for your glory. Lord, help us all to submit to you, to accept your help in dealing with temptation and fear and anxiety and guilt and shame and confusion. It's up to you, Lord. Help us to let go.